All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to HG Movie Talk. I am Fluffy Duffy, joined here today by my co-host, Dean's Beans. Say hello,
Hello,
Dean.
I'm Dean's Beans,
Anyways,
and I'm
we're moving
joined
on.
here by my
we don't-
co-host, Fluffy Duffy.
Okay, we don't need that today, okay, Dean? We're trying to keep this, peaceful.
PG-13.
Yeah, because, you're just too raunchy for this podcast, man.
Well, this is part two.
Part two.
A very exciting podcast event.
This is, as I said in my TikTok a couple days, a week ago.
Yeah.
It's the biggest crossover event of all time.
Yeah. And it's basically our wrap up of 2021 stuff. Last week we talked about TV shows and horror movies. And this week it's very simple. We will talk about every other movie, every single one that came out. If you're thinking, hey, this movie came out in 2021 and you didn't talk about it, you just missed the bit where we talked about it. So just listen to the episode again and you'll hear that bit.
Yeah, A through Z.
Yeah.
But we only picked the ones we want to talk about.
All of them.
Right. We only picked all the movies that we want to talk about.
Well, and because we went through A through Z, we're starting with Zack.
Z.
We're starting with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we thought, hey, who do we know that really, really loves Zack Snyder?
Oh, I got it. The most beloved creator on TikTok.
Oh, our good friend Lex. He's a cool guy, actually.
Otherwise known as Lex Reviews.
Yeah, and here he is talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, Lex, you're here today to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League with us.
Yes.
Would you say this was your favorite movie of 2021, or?
I would not only say it's my favorite movie, but I would say it is the greatest movie to come out in 2021. Not by opinion, just by sheer work of art that it is.
It is. I mean, it does have 2 hours on almost every movie to come out in 2021.
It's
right.
Best movie in length as well.
Best 4-hour movie to come out in 2021, for sure.
It's definitely the best 4-hour movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'll give it that. 100%.
Yeah.
And easily 100% the best movie I've ever seen in a 4:3 aspect ratio.
I mean, you could have just stopped before you said 4:3 aspect ratio.
So I'm going to ask you a question, being very well aware of the answer. I'll just ask this for our audience. Lex, do you just want to tell us your views on the Snyderverse and on Zack Snyder's influence on DC?
I think Zack Snyder's influence on DC, whether the Snyderverse gets restored or not, will always be there, even if the Flash decides to erase everything, which is going to be the death of DC. No matter what people say, and even if the movies are great, you know what I mean? They could bring in Robert Pattinson into the DCEU, even though that's not going to happen. They could do some really cool stuff. But the plans that Zack Snyder had with his Snyderverse were a masterpiece. And really, if you look at every work that he's done in the DC franchise, every movie that he's made without studio interference has been perfect. But that's obviously speaking objectively. But I think I could convince anybody who has real gripes with Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel, the Zack Snyder's Justice League, anybody who has real gripes, I think that I could talk them into at least liking the movie, even if they don't quite enjoy every aspect of the movies.
Yeah, I definitely don't dislike Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm a fan of it and I do like it. And I was gonna say an opinion on Batman vs Superman, but honestly, I have not seen it since it came out, so I'm not gonna give any opinion on it because I don't really.
Did you watch it in theaters?
Yeah.
Does that mean you haven't seen the Ultimate?
I haven't.
The Ultimate cut?
No.
The one you saw in theaters isn't even close to the version you were supposed to see.
So I've heard.
It's like seeing the 2017 version of Justice League, except obviously the 2017 version of Justice League is god awful. But Batman versus Superman, the theatrical cut is it's like watching Endgame with, I don't know, 45 minutes of it gone.
Yeah.
It would make no sense.
I will say Zack Snyder's Justice League, completely different watch if you're watching it on your phone compared if you're watching it in like a surround sound, like 4K, huge
Is this
TV.
another one you watched on your phone, Harlan?
No, I did not watch this on my phone. I
Okay.
watched this at like my grandpa's house, and he basically has like an at-home movie
Oh,
theater.
okay.
And
I
it
thought
was
that was the distinction
awesome.
you were making. I thought you were about
No,
to
no,
say,
no. I watched Kong Skull Island. No, dang it.
Godzilla vs Kong.
I watched
phone.
Kong
That's
vs
weird.
Godzilla on my phone.
That's gonna come
Oh
up
man,
later.
bro, and you got through it. I had
And
to
I
watch
got
that
through
movie
it.
in theaters, and it was hard to get through. So watching it on your phone must have been like,
Well, I think I had to put it down for a little bit. I think I did.
Yeah.
oof.
Okay. Did we watch it all in one go? I did it like a couple chapters at a time. I think over like 3 days. Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Holy crap, that's crazy. I watched it. I waited for it to come out at I think 2 or 3 where I was at. It came out at like 3 a.m, and I watched it all the way through, all 4 hours. Didn't even take a pee break. But then the movie ended. I kind of like had like a drink of water and went to the bathroom, and then rewatched it because I like, especially since it came out on a streaming platform, it's not like I had to go and get another ticket and sit down in another theater. I just wanted to get like every bit of detail I could find in the movie, and it was I loved it both times. It was great.
See,
How did you do that?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I don't think I'm ever gonna watch it again. Like I enjoyed it. But
Holy crap, man.
I have no desire to be like, I'm going to sit through that again, because like a gripe I do have with this, and I know you're about to disagree with me, but I really think it would have been a lot better if it was maybe 3.5 hours long.
I actually have no gripes with that. The
Yeah,
reason why it was 3.5, like it if it came out in the theaters and it wasn't on a streaming platform, and we weren't in the predicament we were in where the fans were like, Zach, we want you to give us everything, like every bit of everything. If it just came out naturally, like in theaters, there was no studio interference, like the movie probably would have been about 3.5 hours. It wouldn't have been 4 hours. So I totally get the whole argument of I don't want it to be that long, but because it came out on a streaming platform and because everything happened the way it did, we were like, we want to see everything. And that's something I love about the movie is it takes its time. And even the slow motion shots, you're like, oh man, we don't need this, but it's like, why not? I mean, it's the director's cut. We're getting everything.
For me, when it comes to Zack Snyder, I'm like in the middle of the road, because like I have Man of Steel on Blu-ray because I really enjoy that one, because it's not too long and you get a lot of Zack Snyderism, but it's also like it's just like perfect Zack Snyder out of all of them for me. Like that's my favorite Snyderverse movie.
Well, I don't know if I prefer Man of Steel or Zack Snyder's Justice League, but it would be between those two.
But the only thing about Zack Snyder's Justice League is, considering I'm middle of the road, it's such a large commitment that I'm usually not all there to make.
Right.
Because it's 4 hours. Yeah.
I mean, just, I guess if it's like watching a long movie is something that is a commitment to you, watch it like a show. I mean, that's why Zack Snyder kind of divided it into parts.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, if you want to watch it in parts, watch it in parts. If you don't, then watch it all the way through.
Wasn't there like for a brief moment, it was going to be like 4 episodes, kind of like they were going to have it, or like if you click on like a show, you have like episode 1, 2, 3, 4. There's going to be like the chapters like that. Wasn't that a thing for a minute?
Yes, it was something that was talked about, but I don't really think they actually gave it some consideration, because I don't think Warner Brothers wanted to like drag it out any longer, because I'll say this,
right?
They were Warner Media. There came a point where the Snyderverse was like, the Snyder Cut was greenlit, but then it was like a part of Warner Brothers that greenlit it, but then that like part of Warner Brothers got completely like shut down. But it was already too late, because they already greenlit the Snyder Cut. And so because that decision had already been made, they were like, all right, we're just going to release it. And that's why there were so many times where like they tried to sabotage that movie's release, like especially with it coming out, I think a day or two before on HBO Max for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Like there was like an oopsie. I don't know if you remember that, but if you
was
clicked
like
on like
Tom and
Space
Jerry,
Jam or something.
I
So
think it was Tom and Jerry. Yeah.
it was Tom and Jerry. Yeah. I heard about that and I was so mad. And there was like leaks everywhere on Twitter. And I was like, why couldn't we just get to this point? Because like this isn't like a movie theater experience where someone went and like leaked photos or like this was something that was not on accident. It was voluntary. They did this on purpose.
It's such a bizarre thing to, yeah.
All
But-
for Tom and Jerry.
So
Best
what is
movie of
your
2021.
gripes with because I never actually watched your video. What is your gripes with the Snyderverse?
The Snyderverse, well, just the way how long ago did I post that video? I like the concept of the Snyderverse is I think I love the way his movies look, but when it comes to like storytelling and the way he has like character progressions and it's just like just when it comes the storytelling, I think although there are a lot of complex characters in his universe, and I'm not to say that like his movies are dull, but I just think the storytelling isn't all there some of the time to make the characters as intriguing as they could be. If that makes sense.
So is it anything to do with, I just want to know this because a lot of people's issues with Zack Snyder's movies is the fact that they claim to be, they themselves, like the fans that don't like it, claim that Zack Snyder has ruined these characters that they love, like Superman or Batman, because they're so far away from what they're supposed to be. Is that something that makes you mad, or is it you just see no?
I have gripes to do that, but I definitely wouldn't word it that way because one of my favorite superheroes is Superman, and the characterization that Zack Snyder has given Henry Cavill in a lot of ways isn't the Superman that I want to see, but it's not. I definitely wouldn't say the phrase ruin the character. I definitely don't think it. Oh, that's not Superman. Blah blah blah. It's just not the version of Superman I would have chosen to see, and that is like the cause of some of my complaints about this stuff, which is weird because I think Superman works a large part in Man of Steel.
Right. Like I think I like that isn't one of my complaints about Zack Snyder because it's a Zack Snyder adaptation. Like I don't think I think that Superman for Zack Snyder was like the perfect fit for Zack Snyder.
That's what I mean because that's the perfect fit for like a Superman for Zack Snyder. But in my head, I'm like, I just want to see a Superman movie. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like what?
Like because we haven't had a Superman movie. Like I want like another Christopher Reeve Superman movie. Is kind of what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it's kind of like Man of Steel was kind of the perfect modern Superman. Like, yeah, you have like Superman and Lois with Tyler Hoechlin, and a lot of people like that adaptation. I'm not a super huge fan of it, but I will say that, like, I almost feel like it doesn't make sense for us to backtrack and go to where it's like a Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah, I get what you mean. See, the thing is, you're right. I 100% agree that is the perfect modern take on Superman. That's just I don't want a modern take on Superman.
Right?
Because that's not, and I think that is just because Superman to me is a character that is like outdated for a reason, and that's like part of the appeal for me, that it's just like set in a more hopeful time and all that sort of thing. But that's
I think
me saying I don't like Henry Cavill Superman because I like him as Superman. I am disappointed that it looks like we're never going to see him as Superman again.
But imagine this, man. Imagine how epic, after seeing where Superman was by the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League and seeing how hopeful he had become due to the events of Batman versus Superman and Justice League, and seeing him go through those like trials and events And look how hopeful he was in by the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that would have been an amazing story to like lead into the Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, if they announced
would have been
Man
so
of Steel
good
2 now of Henry Cavill, I would be excited. And that is mostly just because I do like Henry Cavill as Superman. So I
mean, I like to kind of like a lot of my videos sometimes are like bullshit and stuff.
Wow,
but,
I never noticed.
Wait, hold on. What?
Wait, what? But there are some serious, like a lot of people are like, the Flash is about to erase everything with his movie. And I that's very, very true. And I think I think we're also reading into it a little bit too much. But I will say this. I think there could be some good stuff that comes out of the Flash movie, because what it could do, and I'm saying it could separate their universes to where Warner Brothers can do what they want with the Flash and their heroes, and Zack Snyder could come in a separate kind of standalone, only on HBO Max type thing, and kind of finish out his Snyderverse. Because what people don't understand is that in about 5 to 6 months, Warner Brothers is having that merger with Discovery Plus, and like there's going to be new management across the board, and that same new management has been like doing interviews and all this other stuff, saying that they're interested in doing like Zack Snyder projects. This is something that they've shown interest in.
Yeah, that as an idea is something I'm really up for, because I feel like perhaps that's best case scenario for me, just because I don't think I'd want there to be only like the Zack Snyderverse DC movies, because like I'd be happy to see more, but that's not, I'd want to see other stuff as well, if you know what I mean. So I think going both directions is a solid idea.
Yeah, a lot of people are showing like hate for like they're talking about how this is going to be the new trio for DC, and it's like Batwoman, Wonder Woman, and Supergirl. And a lot of people are like, oh man, I hate that. And I'm like, bro, I'm down for it, but why not have both? Why not have Ben Affleck's Batman, Henry Cavill's Superman, and you know what I mean? Like it would be nice to have both. And a lot of people think Ben Affleck's done as Batman, but that's couldn't also not be the case, because he said the same thing because of like Zack Snyder stepping away from Justice League. That kind of led him down a wrong path, because Josh Whedon treated him terribly, and he came back for the reshoots for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I feel like if Zack asked him back, there could be some definite like.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Ben might be up for it.
It's a tricky one as well, because I'm like, I would not have guessed he would ever have come back for something like The Flash. Like that's surprising to me. So maybe if they, I think he came back for The Flash for one of two reasons. They pitched it to him going, oh, then you can do Zack Snyder stuff, or they pitched it to him going, then you never have to be in any of these movies again.
Oh, geez.
It's an interesting one. Okay, so the last question we've been asking all of our guests is, what movie / TV show are you most looking forward to in 2022?
I'm gonna go. A lot of people are either saying Doctor Strange or anything like that. I'm going Kenobi, because that's
choice.
Good
that's
choice.
what I want more than anything. Like I really, after Kenobi comes out, man, like my life is just full of side missions. Like I just need to see Kenobi, and then that's it. Like I'm good.
Oh, and I realize I don't think we've ever answered this question. I don't think in this.
I can't say Kenobi now, because that's what he just said. But like, it might be.
My two would be, no, actually, my one would be Spider-Verse. That's my answer.
Oh, really? Over Kenobi?
Yeah, I think so.
Bro, over having Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor come back, you're like, oh man, bro, a sequel to a movie that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That's absurd, man.
Well,
That's absurd, bro.
The sequel he's referring to is like one of the best Marvel movies of all time, to be fair.
Yeah, but we're talking about Anakin and Obi-Wan, bro. You get to return to like 2004.
I feel like if they release a trailer for it, then my answer may change. But for now, I'm sticking with Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I don't know. There's so many things I'm looking forward to. Would it be funny if I just stick with Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special? Would that be
Oh
funny?
my
I think that'd be
god,
pretty
bro!
funny.
I'm gonna go
with.
my answer's DC League of Super Pets because I think in that movie they're gonna deal with the branch timelines and set up the new DCEU.
Doesn't that come out the same day as
I
Into the
think it does
Spider-Verse
count
2
the
or
same
something
day as
like that?
Spider-Verse.
Man, I wonder which one I'm gonna see.
I don't know.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, Lex. It's good to
Thanks for
catch
coming,
up.
Lex.
Of course. Thank you for having me on.
We'll talk soon. What an interesting discourse we may or may not have just had live on this recording. Thank you.
God, I
coming
came
on.
out of that discussion a different man, honestly.
The joke is we haven't recorded that one yet. Oh, you know, if something goes wrong and we don't record that, I'm just gonna leave that there. That as a nice joke.
I hope you do, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, but there was another DC movie that came out this year, and I probably just mentioned just now in this live recording that I preferred this one, and that is the Suicide Squad. It's just us two for this one, I'm afraid.
I like this one way more than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh yeah, it is so good, and I'm planning on rewatching it this week. I think with some friends who have never seen it, and I'm so excited.
I got it on Blu-ray for Christmas.
I got it on DVD for Christmas. So
One of us is better than the other. I'm not gonna say who. Anyways,
it's him.
Even though my TV actually is like a 420p TV, so really I can't even notice the difference. But I do. Okay.
James Gunn can just
James Gunn
do whatever he wants with superhero movies because I honestly think he has made 3 great superhero movies.
I'll stand by you with that.
Yeah, this one's probably my second favorite of his.
Yep.
Yeah,
but just making sure Guardians 1.
Yeah.
The Suicide Squad. Yeah. Guardians 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because this is what the Suicide Squad should be, because we've done an episode on both Suicide Squad movies now, and one of them we were overwhelmingly positive about, and the other one we weren't.
The contrary.
Yes, yeah. And just what works is just every character felt disposable, and like you cared about them, but they were all stupid and like super C-list, and
right.
And it was deadly, and so many of them died, and all that sort of stuff was just, you know.
It was just like so much fun in the theater. Like there was laughs, there was parts where you could have cried if you're emotionally sound, and like I don't know, just like I really enjoyed this movie. The person I saw it with didn't like it, and I wanted to punch them in the face.
I think we've had this conversation before, but it's just so funny as well. Like, yeah, I just really enjoyed all the elements of it, and I had a rollicking good time. Who's your favorite member of the Suicide Squad from this movie?
You know, I have a feeling it will change come January 13th, which is when Peacemaker comes out.
Yeah.
Which it's gonna be soon. It's gonna be 2 days after this podcast comes out.
Whoa, that's 2 days after this podcast comes out.
That may have been the most stupid thing you've ever said.
Okay, what are we?
Anyways, my favorite character.
I ranked all of them, and I can't remember who I put first.
I really liked Peacemaker.
Yeah, Peacemaker was. Peacemaker was a very worked well because there was a good twist in there with him. He was complicated.
Yeah.
All those sort of things. I liked.
King Shark.
King Shark obviously was very funny. Polka Dot Man, very good. I think I said Ratcatcher maybe.
She was I liked her.
Ratcatcher was really good. I'm trying to find. I would have posted this TikTok ages ago, so I'm not going to be able to find it.
Why don't you just look up Dean's Beans Suicide Squad?
Oh, you're a clever guy. But that's what my actual favorite member, all jokes aside, is Captain Boomerang.
That's what I do to figure out if I've done a video on something or not. I just look up Fluffy Duffy.
Here we go. I found part 1, part 2, part 3, part 5. Here we go. What's up, guys? Here's part. I never start my videos with "What's up, guys." I don't know why. Yeah, number 1's Ratcatcher. Number 2 is
Figures.
Harley. Number 3
Oh,
is
yeah.
Bloodsport.
I don't know. Harley is kind of getting a little old for me personally.
I get that. They did do something different with her in the Suicide Squad, though.
That's true. They keep on doing things different with her.
Yeah, and I think Rick Flag really worked in the Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, I think I may have shed a tear when Rick Flag died because it was done really well.
The saddest one for me has to be Captain Boomerang.
Oh no, wrong.
Okay, Starro. Thoughts on Starro?
Starring?
Starro.
Oh, Starro.
Oh,
Perfect villain for the movie. Oh, Starro.
Because it was a perfect mixture of like wacky and quite scary, which is kind of what the movie was.
Exactly.
Yeah. What a great movie. One of my favorite superhero movies of the year.
Significantly better than Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, and I'm sure Lex just agreed with us about that when we literally I don't know why I said I bet because I've sat through that conversation.
You know, honestly, I think I won't even have I'd be very surprised to see if I said that in that clip you just saw, which doesn't make sense at all. What I said to you, the listener, does not make sense.
Harlan, do you remember when I told that really funny joke about a banana in that clip?
Honestly, that joke was kind of half-baked.
I'm going to have to come up with a joke about a banana before tomorrow. Okay, the second movie is Free
What
Guy.
second movie? Free Guy.
Third movie.
Third. Well, yeah. Third
Movie number 3 is Free Guy.
This movie, when I saw it, I was expecting it to be mediocre, and it was
a bit better than mediocre.
A bit better, but it ends pretty badly. I don't like the way the movie ends.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. This was kind of a sleeper one because, like, seeing on the trailers, I didn't think this was going to be as big a thing as it was, but it did pretty well, and there was like a lot of chatter about it on the interwebs.
Yeah, and it shows that like I hear people on the internet saying they're getting sick of Ryan Reynolds' shtick.
That's probably me you hear saying that.
It's probably you. I dig it. I think he's fun, and I
didn't find him incredibly funny in Free Guy. I thought Taika Waititi was hilarious. I really liked him.
Yeah.
Just that was kind of, I don't know. That's something we haven't seen from Taika before.
I can't tell if you're frozen. Okay, you are frozen. For a second, when I said that, your face was just stuck like I can't. Sorry, listeners. Your face was just stuck like.
He's pulling a face of shock or something. Okay, we're doing like too many like weird jokes today, I think, because I was about to make another joke about how we definitely record this in the same room.
That would have been that would have been a bad joke, Dean.
We should stop trying to gaslight our listeners.
Jesus. Free Guy. The I really enjoyed like the little cameos they had at the end, like in the main at the end fight scene. Cameos as in like actual people and like IPs like Captain America and Star Wars and.
See, I do agree with you, but I feel like that does go against like part of the message of the movie.
Games part of the message of the movie. It was cool, Dean.
Do you not think it goes against? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm wrong?
I think. Well, what did you say the message of the movie was?
Well, not the main message, but a part of it, like the stuff with is it Joe Keery, the guy from Stranger Things, when it's all like, hey, you don't need to worry about IPs and stuff. You should work on making something original and fun and independent. And then they were like, and lightsabers and Captain America's shield.
Well, does it make sense that he uses it in that world because those are the most powerful weapons in that world?
That's true, but like the movie is kind of rewarding you for being like, hey, look, it's lightsabers. You know,
but also it's Free Guy, and I lost my mind when I saw it in the theaters.
No, yeah, I did. I thought it was a good cameo. So just Chris Evans has been doing cameos all year. Has he been in any movies?
Nope.
He's just been cameoing after cameoing. I can think of 2 cameos he did.
Get that coin. Well, he's also doing, the whole political thing.
The whole political thing.
You know what I'm talking about? The Starting Point?
Yeah. But good on him.
Who watches that?
Wow, I can't believe you're being so. I'm
Sorry,
sure
I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Chris.
we have a very
we love your
intelligent
website.
audience who are very up to date on current affairs.
I'm not.
Remember the the first example I thought of was the Suez Canal, which I'm sure was about 4 months ago now. Was that
What
a
did
thing
you
in
say?
America? The Suez Canal?
No.
A boat got stuck in the Suez Canal. Anyway,
We don't. What's the Suez Canal?
it's a it's the canal where like everything goes through.
Yeah, we don't have one of those.
There's just one.
We don't have a big old tunnel that just everything goes through.
Do you see what I mean when I'm saying we're making too many weird jokes today?
Good old Suez Canal humor.
Have you got any more jokes about Free Guy? Not jokes, comments. I don't want any more jokes.
Knock knock.
Who's that?
I don't know. I didn't think
To
that
be
far
honest,
ahead.
I can't tell
who?
if this is better or worse than a usual recording of ours. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's a healthy middle.
Just the same. Yeah, that's what I like to be. Just the same. Anyway, on to the next movie. Oh wait, I'm getting a phone call from
Bring, bring.
someone who wants to talk about the movie Dune. Oh wow, it's King Callan. Let me click answer.
Boop. Hello, Callan or King Callan. I call you Callan, but you're also King Callan, right?
Yes.
That's crazy.
King
Username. Okay. So today we are talking about Dune. That is the movie of 2021 that you want to talk about, right?
Yes, indeed.
Would you call it your favorite movie of 2021?
No, probably not even top 3, but I still want to talk about it.
Okay, what makes this more interesting to talk about than your top 3?
Well, probably because it's directed by Denis Villeneuve, and I am a major fan of his work. And I thought it was a very interesting movie, even though I didn't like it a lot. I didn't like it a lot,
Oh, okay.
but I did
Okay.
like it. I did like it. So I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about,
What's your favorite Denis Villeneuve movie?
Oh my God. I hate that question so much because every single movie that he's made is just such a banger.
Besides
But
Dune.
besides Dune, but if I could pick one, it's so close between Incendi and Prisoners, but
I haven't seen Incendi.
Incendi. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. I think that's how you pronounce it, but it's so good. But Prisoners is just like on another like level of good.
Oh yeah,
So yeah,
I love that movie.
Prisoners is amazing. So yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about it.
Right. How do you feel about the ending of this movie? Because I think that might be the most controversial bit of it.
So I think the ending, I think it's understandable, but I think it's understandable in the sense that I know that it goes directly into the sequences of the second book of how it was written. But I think from a film perspective of how you should end a film, I didn't feel that it was a satisfying ending enough. I feel that there should have been a little bit more of a build-up, at least in the final scene, because when it ended, I'm like, wait, it's over now? And it was a very long film. Like, it was 2.5 hours. I'm not complaining about the length, but it was at such a moment where you couldn't believe it ended there and not 2 minutes before or 2 minutes afterwards, if that makes any sense.
No, because it literally feels like it's the scene it ends to choose on literally feels like it's the end of the second act.
Right?
Like
yeah.
that
It's like you're in the middle of a scene. Like it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
And because when I saw this movie, I was very ill. Not ill, like I didn't have COVID or anything, but I just had like a terrible cold. I don't remember what it was, but I just wasn't feeling it. And I remember thinking so many different parts in the movie. I'm like, okay, the movie's over now. I can go blow my nose. And then it literally, like, I was like, wow. When that final scene was happening, I'm like, wow, this movie is much longer than I thought it was. I wonder what's going to happen next. And then it ended. I'm like, Oh, okay. All right. Okay, Denis.
Interesting choice to end it on, right?
Yeah, and like I feel like it kind of is similar to the Harry Potter, like the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2, in the sense of
Yeah.
like, have you seen the Harry Potter movies?
I've seen all of them, and even though I like really love the universe, the last time I saw like the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2 was dude, like at least 5 years ago.
Right. Well, I just watched them for the first time recently,
Yeah.
like, and the main complaint with Deathly Hallows Part 1 is that it's super boring, but it's necessary for the finale. And I feel like it's kind of the same thing with Dune. Not the same thing, but in terms of like the conversation of, yeah, I didn't like it, but I understand why they did it. And I, you know,
Yeah. I just felt that there should have been like I feel like Hans Zimmer should have just went ham in the final scene, and then you finish the movie. Like you know
mm,
how Empire Strikes Back ends with like the music playing and they're in the ship, and like Luke is holding like Leia's like shoulder. You know what I'm talking about? Like how
right.
he
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know like I felt like there should have been. I don't know. I don't know.
But
I just
speaking of Hans Zimmer,
yes.
he did go pretty ham on this
He went
movie.
ham the entire film. I mean, anything with Hans Zimmer is
You know,
just
he made like new instruments.
yeah. I saw it. There was a behind the scenes video on it, and I
Oh,
watched the entire thing.
nerd.
Yeah, yeah, I am a nerd,
Sorry,
but
you're not a nerd. Nerd is a good thing.
it is a good thing for the most part.
Yeah,
But
unless when I'm calling you a nerd.
okay,
I'm so sorry, Callan. I'm just used to Dean being here and being able to pick on somebody.
no, I get it.
And
I'll
Dean's
take that position.
okay. Don't worry. He dogs. I'm talking to the viewers now. I'm not talking to you, so don't think I'm talking to you, viewers or listeners. He dogs on me enough while we're playing Fortnite, so it's okay. I can make fun of him right now, and that now it just seems like I'm being a bully to you, but we're
I
a bully
bully
to.
Harlan a good amount.
Yeah.
It's true. But
So, um, a question. Oh, actually, no. Before I get to the final question, one more thing about Dune
yeah,
is, well, I wouldn't even say about Dune, but I would say just like for Denis Villeneuve's, just like his style is, I not one movie of his looks the same.
yeah.
Maybe besides like, okay, the one I haven't seen. What the one? What was that called?
Yeah, Incendi. Incendi is shot the most differently from the rest of the movies. It kind of feels like um, it's some of the shots are very cinematic, so you know you're watching like a dramatic movie, and some of them kind of feels like you're immersed, like you're with like it's not mockumentary style, but it's like you know how The Office makes you feel like you're in the office, and it's like
Right.
very day to day. Like there'll be scenes when like the main like protagonist like she's walking in like a field or something, and it's like very up close, and you feel like you're there. But I
Mm,
agree. I think every film of his has such a different color palette, and um, I feel like I think he shoots with different cameras, because like a movie like Sicario versus like Blade Runner,
right.
you know,
Exactly.
like it feels different. And like with Enemy, like the entire color palette was like lime and just all yellow.
Right.
And I don't know, Enemy is such a weird film, but I love it so much.
So now, where I was getting the to to the big climax of this question is for Dune, because Dune also has a very unique look
Yes.
to it compared to all of his. Do you
Yes.
think it's the best one? The best look? I'm not. Like
Best look.
ignoring
Oh
plot,
no.
ignoring acting. Where does it land?
See, that's the thing. If this movie wasn't directed by Denis Villeneuve, I would go 100% say like this is by far the director's best like looking film and one of the best looking films. But when the director who's made Dune has also made Blade Runner 2049, which is like the most beautiful film like ever,
Yes.
like it's just I can't say that Dune has a better color palette or like visually. I'm not putting it down. Dune was incredibly visually pleasing, but
Right.
how are you gonna get past and say that it's better than Blade Runner 2049? Like I can't
So
stand by that.
if Blade Runner 2049 is at like a 100%, like an A plus, Dune is like a 98, 99.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like 98, 99 for sure. Dune's at the top.
Yes, definitely. I mean, especially like like the sandworm scenes. It's
The
just
sandworm. I love the sandworms. I want to tell you something. I've been so slacking on it recently, but because of watching the movie, I got the book for it, and I'm like I think a quarter of the way through with it. Um, and I gotta say, like the sandworms, like it's so crazy. Like how they mention it in the books, they mention it like so like in such a relaxing and like nonchalant way. Like, oh, they've got these worms in the desert, by the way. But then once you've seen the film and you've seen how massive they are and how terrifying looking they are, it's like it's crazy. The book's really good, by the way.
well, the third that you've read of it.
Yes, no need to bully again.
Hey, that is not bullying.
At least I
I'm just
read,
correcting.
Harlan.
Okay, Gavin. That's not go jabbing everybody now. So the final question.
Yes.
We talked about 2021. What is your most anticipated release of 2022?
Oh my god. Wow. I mean, I feel like this is pretty obvious, but like I would just like to say that I am so hyped for other projects besides the one I'm going to mention. There are so many cool movies that are coming out, and even though this is not film, and I know it's a film podcast, but I don't care, Harlan.
Oh, I know what he's gonna say now. It's I
Listen.
Am Groot, isn't it?
How'd you know? No, it's not I Am Groot. My most hyped thing I'm hyped for is the second God of War game, which is just I cannot wait for that. I'm a mythology nerd and I love those games, but that game. My hype for that is miles above any other like film hype I have. But if I were to choose a film, it would obviously be the Batman because I'm a major Batman nerd, and it looks so good. Across the Spider-Verse is a close second, very, very, very close second, because Into the Spider-Verse is like my favorite superhero film ever. But the Batman is just Robert Pattinson looks amazing. I feel like I'm getting the same vibe from him that I got with like Anthony Starr as Homelander. But like in a no in a Batman in a no.
Oh wait, whoa.
Let me finish my sentence, Harlan. In a superhero-esque way, like the way that he's losing it, and like when he slammed the glass at Riddler, and he's like, "What have you done?" Like that seems like something that Homelander would do before lasering someone to death. Do you know what I mean?
For just taking out a glass of refrigerated milk.
Yes. He's so weird, Homelander, but I love Homelander, even though
You're not The Boys isn't up there.
Oh, well, that's not a film project. I mean,
TV counts too. You literally said a You said a video game.
Well, I said
you're like, but TV, that's not.
No, if we're counting TV, then I'm so hyped for the House of the Dragon show, which is a Game of Thrones show that's coming out. I know people hate Game of Thrones now, but I don't.
Do they really? Do people hate Game of Thrones?
Well, yeah, because after the ending, people didn't like
it.
But I still think even if you include the ending in the show is still like an easy 9.8 at least. But I'd say my hype is equal for The Boys season 3 and the Batman because I know that Homelander's gonna lose it in this season. Like he is going to go commit mass genocide. Like I am so sure of it. There's no way. I mean, come on.
What about Kenobi?
Oh my god, I forgot about Kenobi!
I knew you were gonna forget about that. That's why I thought you were gonna say it first.
Dude, he is my favorite Star Wars character. I should be ashamed of myself. I am ashamed of myself for forgetting Kenobi. I am more hyped Kenobi than for any of these movies or shows or anything.
So Kenobi's your number one?
Well, it's not by a lot. Kenobi I'm more hyped for a little bit more than Batman. A little bit.
Okay.
A tiny, tiny bit. Just because I've been... Oh my god, my hair looks weird. But just a tiny, tiny bit.
Hey, your hair looks perfect. Okay.
I appreciate that. But just a tiny bit because I have Obi-Wan bias. Even though I'm a Star Wars fan, it's just because I've been an Obi-Wan fan for listen, I've been on the Obi-Wan hype train for years.
All right, hey, Callan, it's okay. Years. It's okay. Hey, take a breather. It's okay. All right, thank you, Callum, for joining us. We are going to get back to our regularly scheduled program.
Thank you for having me. It was nice having you bully me for a little bit and talk
Hey,
about Dune.
we bullied each other.
We do. That is the truth. But yes, I appreciate you taking the time to interview me about Dune and all the other stuff we talked about. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Callum. Dune. Let's talk about Dune now.
It's the 6th month of the year, and I can't really remember. I think Black Widow came out in Dune. No, yeah, Black Widow came out in Dune. I think we were still watching Loki and Dune. Yeah, it was a pretty solid month for me. What about you?
I don't remember. What do you? Well, I was not looking that forward to Dune.
I think you just missed my entire joke. But...
I missed it completely. What were you talking about?
Can we just start today's episode again? Can we just start it again?
What was the joke?
I was saying that June is in the month of June. Just talk about June. I'll be back in a minute.
Jesus Christ. Dune in June? But you said the 6th month of the year. Did you even say June? He's gone. I don't think you said June.
I think I said Dune.
Well, Dean, what did you think of Dune? Not the month that it was released in. I don't think Dune was released in June.
It wasn't.
I don't think
it was released in October.
Black Widow didn't even come out in June.
When did Black Widow come out?
July.
Okay. I've got an idea to solve all this confusion. Okay, should I just do my idea?
No.
Hello and welcome to another episode.
No, there's no way. Okay, let's talk about Dune. Let's ignore.
We'd have to get Lex back in here to do that bit.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I have a genuine question for you. Do I edit all of that out?
No, you keep it. You keep it.
But it makes me look a bit dark.
It just makes you look a bit dumb.
Yeah.
Well, good. Let's make you feel. See how it feels.
Okay, June. It's just so crap. Okay. It's so fun that we're like, hey, let's bring all our friends to talk about different movies, more friends than ever, and then let's just make the episode that they're all in absolute garbage. Okay, June. I agree. It was pretty good. I think I wasn't a big fan of the ending, and I think it was paced a bit weirdly, but it had a lot of great actors in, all looking absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see the second one. I feel like that movie didn't, like, the way it ended. I wasn't kind of like, oh yes, I can't wait to see what happens next in the planet of Dune, because that's what the planet's called.
Obviously. Now we are going to be talking about House of Gucci with West is Lonely.
Yo.
Hello, West.
Hey.
How do you feel about being called West is Lonely?
So,
sorry, I'm getting us sidetracked already.
You know what? It's all right. Some kid came up to me yesterday and said, "Oh my God, is that West is Lonely from TikTok?" and made me write the word ball bag on his arm.
wow.
Just thought I'd start the podcast with that information.
Wow. See, I've met a few fans, but none of them have ever asked me to do that.
Well, your fans obviously aren't as good.
Yeah, this clearly sounds like it. Anyway, House of Gucci.
Touché.
Oh.
What a film.
So, I think we all have opinions about this movie. What's your opinion on it, Wes?
To be fair, I thought it was really. To be fair, I went in to watch it with the full intent of it just being one of those movies that's like, but I think it was sick. I thought it was very interesting. I thought some parts of it were shocking, but I thought in general it was all right. I think Lady Gaga it was a good shout for this role.
See, I would have liked
me,
it, but I have a very visceral reaction to anything Jared Leto has ever done in the history of the world.
Bruh,
see, I love Jared Leto in this.
Part of me
Yeah.
does,
Jared Leto
but
was.
I don't know how much of it was intentional.
I don't know. I think he was a breath of fresh air in this quite morbid film. Because it
That's
was
true. I was sitting there laughing at him.
Well, yeah, but you know, he did it well.
Do you think he did it well? I think he did it well.
I thought it was good, but to be fair, I didn't realize it was Jared Leto until afterwards. So maybe I would be like, oh, it was shit because it was Jared Leto. But I thought
honestly
in general
don't know what he was
that
going for though, because I don't think it was all supposed to be as funny as I found it. I don't know. For me, the best part of the movie was where he opened his mouth and the sound of a car horn came out.
that was so good. I love that we haven't actually spoken about the movie. We've just moved straight on to the fact that Jared Leto is in it.
Well, I feel like he's the most iconic part of that movie easily.
Yeah.
If in like 3 years someone mentions this movie to me, the only thing I will think is Jared Leto, and I will not remember anything else.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a
Maybe
good
the
point.
sex scene. I don't know. We'll see.
Why?
Just because it went on, I just don't understand it. It was the only thing they talked about in all the press interviews.
I can't actually remember it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I
no.
literally watched it the other day, and like, could you remember a sex scene?
Yeah, it did go on way too long, and it got a bit visceral.
I don't know. I don't think I
It was no. It did go on for a bit too long, and yeah, like the mysterious voice said.
Well, from people, I was expecting it to like that scene to be like super gruesome and for me to be disturbed by the time I exited the movie theater.
Gruesome.
And it wasn't. It was.
I
don't know. People were saying how like
Gruesome.
I don't know, but people were hyping it up.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Can you please stop questioning my wordage?
What?
It's word.
I can't get over that.
I'm just trying to think of something other than Jared Leto to speak about.
Adam Driver, Al Pacino.
I liked Al Pacino in it. He was fun.
Yeah. I think maybe with the sex scene, the reason I can't remember it is because I'm just such a nice young Christian lady that my brain just blanks out any notion of anything unholy. But I genuinely I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I remember like 5 seconds of it, like, and then I think I just like got all English and weird and was like, yeah, no.
That's what I kind of did. That's definitely what my friend sitting next to me. He did that. Yeah.
Well, I saw this movie with my boss. At, like, because we both like movies, so we just like went to it, and like it was just that was potentially one of the most awkward experiences of my life.
I thought it was good. You were about to say like my mum or something then, and I was about to.
No, dude. If I thought that was my mom, I would have left the movie theater.
See, I literally watched it with Jake, and I still couldn't handle it. I was like, oh no, this is so awful. Never. I'm just too Christian for this.
Okay. They're the two big things everyone talks about this movie. The outfits, great. I enjoyed all them. All of that. Great stuff. The Adam Driver, great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it made me see him in a very different light because at first I just thought he was the weird guy.
Of the sex scene?
No, the weird guy from Star Wars that has a bit of an odd face. But I've seen him different. I think his face is a lot nicer since I've watched that film.
Yeah, can we talk about how they chose like the two leads? Just they found the actors with the biggest noses.
That's so rude. That's such a violation.
That's what I was thinking watching those two on screen together. I was like, they've both got big old noses.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga was great.
Yeah, I think the casting was sick. I think they genuinely look like a realistic couple that are on each other's like wavelength. Like they're just as attractive as each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a big dub in House of Gucci.
Well, one thing I like what they did with the outfits. It's specifically regarding Jared Leto. Like the last portion of the movie, he's just wearing like this 80s jumper
Yeah.
and sweatpants.
And in
it's
the first half of
awesome.
the movie, he's dressed up like the Joker.
Yeah. Fantastic. I love his get-ups. They're so good.
Okay, Harlan, I'm going to be amiss if I don't say this. Can you give me your impression of Jared Leto in that movie?
I'm gonna let Harlan do this first. I'm waiting.
You want an actual impression or an Italian impression?
No, an actual impression of him. Because it's both. It's still Italian. It fits under the quota.
I guess it is. What did he sound like? I'm trying to.
I can't remember anything, so I'm waiting for you.
Okay, I'll go.
This is like from
what-
like yeah. You do it. You do it.
Do elephants shit in the jungle? It's the one line I remember. There's a line about, all I remember is him saying, do elephants shit in the jungle? Because they don't. Elephants don't live in the jungle.
It was good. I think
See, that's funny. That's funny.
He starts every
I'm gonna use that
sentence
more
like
often.
2 times in that movie, though, because he just stands there going,
It's so good. I've remembered something that we can actually talk about this film.
Oh, go on. Just
Yes,
make me stop
I'm
thinking about Jared
saving the
Leto.
podcast. I'm
Nervous.
saving this episode. But to be fair, there was only one thing I said when I left, and I was like, I feel like the first, I feel like they really skipped over the fact that they had a child. Like, I swear, I saw
Yeah.
that child maybe twice in that entire film. And it was such a pivotal part because she was like, oh, my child, you're kicking us out of the house, whatever. And then it's like that child went from like born to like 12 in about 30 seconds.
And they made quite a big deal about her being pregnant as well. But then there was just child.
She was pregnant for about half a minute.
Yeah.
I think the biggest flaw of this movie is like
Jared Leto.
Shut
It-
up.
well, no, it's like talking about what you're saying is like it goes really fast and it focuses on a lot of characters too much. Like if it just focused on Lady Gaga, I'm pretty sure would have gotten a lot more of the child time. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think that's if that was to point out one thing, it'd probably be like that.
Yeah. There was no like
But not
message
Jared
or
Leto.
main character or anything like that. It was just a bit. But I did enjoy it. I was
Like-
deciding whether I was going to say that.
Jared Leto.
Mid-sentence, I was like, did I enjoy it? Did I think I did?
we haven't mentioned like any of the main characters' names yet. We've just said Lady Gaga
They're all
or
called
Adam Driver.
Gucci, aren't they?
Well, yeah, that's their last name. They're not
Yeah,
all
they're all
Gucci.
Gucci.
They're not all Gucci.
Oh, I thought they were all Gucci.
No, but it's still so funny to me that like the man that made Gucci's name is Gucci O Gucci. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah. Who would call?
I don't understand.
Oh, okay. I'm acting like this movie has I enjoyed it, but it still affected my life negatively. Just because I was lay in bed at night thinking about Jared Leto in a fat suit every night.
He was like in like a low key fat suit. It wasn't even like that much.
Yeah.
Of it.
No, it was around the neck
like,
and stuff. It was the face stuff and the hair.
yeah.
They just wanted him to be a bit thick. They didn't want him to be fat. They just wanted Jared Leto to be thick as I've forgotten his name. I don't even know his name in the film.
It doesn't
It's
even say
Paolo,
his
I
name
think.
on when
I
you
think
look it
it's
up on
Paolo
Google.
Gucci.
It's
Yeah.
Paolo.
Yeah. And then I really liked
Oh.
Al Pacino in it. And Jeremy
Yeah.
Irons
Al
was pretty
Pacino's
good.
good in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was
Even
still.
Jack and Jill.
What else is Lady Gaga?
Gotta
in?
love Jack.
A Star is Born.
Star is Born.
Oh, well, I haven't seen that either. So this is like my first
Was it?
experience of seeing her acting, and I thought it was sick, and it really surprised me.
She
So when
did
I
do
saw
good.
it-
She's a good actress.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
swear
hasn't she like abandoned music and is going full-time acting now?
that would make
Right.
sense.
I
I
don't
feel
know
like
enough
that's a
about
good route.
I think she is.
Lady Gaga, to be honest. Can you tell I'm not a massive Lady Gaga fan by looking at me?
No, maybe
What?
I don't know. Maybe that shirt just is a big Lady
It's
Gaga
got
shirt.
Lady
You
Gaga's
can't-
face on it. It's not a shirt. It's actually a meat dress I'm wearing under this.
On the other side of the camera, there's just a shrine of Lady Gaga. A Lady Gaga and Jared Leto. There's a shrine, and it's all just a big ruse, and you secretly love him. Because I think that's what it is. I think there's sexual tension between you and Jared Leto.
Sure, especially in this movie. Seen that lovely head of hair he's got.
Oh, it's great. It's a great part of the film. I feel like we've picked a film.
I'm still kind of convinced.
Carry on. Just
I'm
carry on.
kind of convinced. Sorry, so Jared Leto is doing like an ad campaign for Gucci right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, "Yeah, I'll do your ad campaign. I can be in your movie." And then they're like, "All right, fine. Just we'll put you in a bald cap and a fat suit." He's like, "Great. Do elephant shit in the jungle." That's my theory.
Anyway, closing thoughts on this movie. What do people think? I nearly went Italian when I said that. Wow.
I
Just
think
infected me.
I think it was a good film. I think it was good, but I would not spend another 2.5 hours of my life watching it again. But I think separately, all the acting was good. I thought the writing was good. I think the casting and the wardrobe was good, but I wouldn't say like incredible. It was just like good.
I would agree. I'm not going to watch it again, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was all right.
What I will watch again is
I
a
agree with
compilation
both of
of
you.
all of Jared Leto's scenes. Like I watched that again.
Dude, that's literally what I was about to say. Like, I need like a Jared Leto spin-off movie
Yeah.
of just like him buying the jumper.
You talk about Jared
Yes.
Leto too much, but I think that's what
House
people
of
come here
Power.
to see is Jared
Gucci.
Leto content.
Yeah, but I still didn't know it was him during the film, so it did kind of ruin it for me. I'm still
Okay.
fuming.
I think that's everything. Out of 10, I would say 6. Maybe.
Damn, you are a critic, aren't you?
It's just that's like -3 for Jared. Honestly, it's really stuck with me. I know I haven't shut up about it.
What's happened to you? Why are you so affected by this man that you've never met?
I don't know. I just don't like him. Harlan, what are you saying?
I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Ooh. Yeah. Wes?
I don't think it's a D, it's a C.
I think we do our grading differently over here. So
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think if we're talking in grading systems in England, I'd give it a 6, which is a B.
B. I remember
So
this.
A
Yeah.
7.
I say I remember
What?
this if it was. They changed it a couple years ago. Don't get us started. It's dumb.
Oh, it's so bad.
Wait,
Oh,
how is a 6 a B? Is a 7 an A?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then an 8
Wait,
is an
is
A
eight-
star, and then a 9 is an A double star. And that's the highest you can get.
And a 4 and a 5 is a C.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I don't
It's
know why
so dumb. At least they kept it for the second stuff you do at your A levels. It's normal for them.
It's I don't understand why they've done this.
A double star. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And on that note, thanks for joining us, West.
it's all right. This has been an absolute shambles.
I feel like it's been my fault. So I apologise.
No, I feel like your hatred of Jared Leto has ruined this
No,
HD movie
it hasn't
talk.
been my fault. It's been Jared Leto's fault. Okay, thanks for
It's
joining.
all
No,
Jared
no,
Leto's
it's
fault.
not.
I'll-
Jared Leto's just living his life, being a nice guy, probably doing nothing wrong. And there is this 19-year-old kid from England who's plotting his death.
I don't think he is a nice guy. He's sending condoms to like used condoms to Margot Robbie.
Oh, never mind. I didn't know about that.
He did on the set of Suicide Squad to get into character as Joker. He would send dead mice and used condoms to his castmates.
Well, you know what? It's called method acting. You should try it sometime, hon. I think it's obviously very professional and a very good idea. I'll send mice to your house, Dean, and see how
Go
you
on.
like
Go. I'll give you Harlan's address after we finish recording. And then
Nice.
Whoa, whoa.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You have to pay like $20 and
Yeah, you don't know how much those dead rats cost either. Okay, I'm ending this. Thanks.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Thank you, Wes.
I'm sorry for talking about Jared Leto and the sex scene for so long, everyone. I've come to my senses now, just like that song in Encanto. No, Tick Tick Boom. That's the song in Tick Tick Boom.
What is?
Come to your senses.
Come to your senses.
Defenses are not the way to go. They're the only lines from that song I know. Tick Tick Boom, amazing movie, but we're not talking about that.
No, screw that movie. I didn't even like it.
You liked it. We've had
I-
off-camera conversations about it.
Dude, I like belt that song in all the songs in my car.
Yeah.
I-
yeah.
Moving
No,
on.
I listen to it so much. I just ruined the magic by telling everyone we have off-camera conversations.
We don't. It is like for 2 minutes. I'm like, I like Tick Tick Boom. He says me too, and I'm like, all right, I'm done with this, and then I hang up. So don't
Yeah.
worry.
Until I go, no, wait, Harlan, we need to record a podcast, and then you're like, what? And then basically, it took him about a month to realize I was recording these conversations. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're here to talk about what everyone's here to talk about. The biggest thing in the world of all time.
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. Let's talk about Black Widow, baby.
I dislike this movie greatly because it's what people criticize Marvel for. Like this movie.
I get that. Okay, so we've got a list of 5 Marvel movies here, yeah.
Yeah.
And if I was to rank them, I would put this movie in the very middle.
No.
Would you not?
Well, we're not talking about Venom 2 yet. We're getting potentially another guest on it.
Oh.
But I like Venom 2 more than Black Widow.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
And-
See, the thing is, I think Black
No,
Widow.
this is at the bottom of my list. Black Widow's at the bottom.
Oh no, actually, you're right. I put Eternals above Black Widow in my ranking. I've changed my mind. So my is second from the bottom for me. Anyway, Black Widow. I thought it had some really good family drama stuff in it.
Yeah.
And then it had some bad spy thriller stuff in it.
Which it is a spy thriller. That's why I don't like it.
Yeah, and I just don't think it was a very good spy thriller.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's hard. It's difficult not to bash on this movie because there's so many good Marvel movies, and this one's just like a little bit less. And it's still a good movie. And if anybody was asking, should I watch it? I'd be like, definitely watch it. But with that said, it's, in my opinion, easily one of the worst Marvel movies.
I'd
MCU
agree.
movies.
Yeah, bottom 5 for sure.
Yeah, sure.
And just Florence Pugh, David Harbour, absolute delights.
Yes,
They were great.
I really love the addition of Florence Pugh's character in this
Yeah.
show, in this movie.
Yeah, it was just they didn't do anything interesting with Scarlett Johansson, and the movie came out 6 years late, and the action was so over the top. I think I mentioned this last week when we talked about it would have been the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Or
Hawkeye,
something.
probably.
I think it was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier when I said that had really good action. Did I say that?
It did.
Basically, I said that I was like going into Black Widow expecting, this movie is going to have the best action of all the MCU movie because it's going to be very Captain America and the Winter Soldier-esque. But it wasn't. It was just, oh wow, I'm jumping from the atmosphere all the way down to surface level. Like, it was too fantastical when you kind of wanted something more grounded.
Right. And like when it came to Black Widow, I felt like this movie was so out of the blue and unnecessary. I was like, I was expecting like a big like twist or like something to happen to give a reason for this story to be told. And I just never quite got that.
The story was just told because they hadn't done it yet.
Exactly.
And also Scarlett Johansson makes money. They're the 2 reasons.
Bingo.
Okay, and Taskmaster twist thoughts?
Terrible.
I didn't hate it, but it was kind of nothing.
Because I love Taskmaster. I think he's an awesome character from what I know of him.
Yeah.
And it just flopped. for me.
I'm still excited to see what they do next with all these characters who aren't Natasha Romanoff, who is dead.
Well, there's no way that's the last thing we're going to see of Taskmaster.
Yeah, I think you're right, because the things people loved about that, well, the one standout I think everyone took from that movie was Florence Pugh, and obviously we have seen her since. But so we got the news a while back that we did talk about that Scarlett Johansson is producing a Marvel thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be, well, unless it's not like a female Avengers thing, like a female team up thing, it will be whatever Florence Pugh is doing next.
Right.
And whether that's like a TV show or whether they call it Black Widow 2, and we get
Black Widow 2.
David Harbour again. Black Widow, solid. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10 maybe.
I don't know why I'm just introducing ratings now, but let's talk about the second Marvel movie of the year. An amazing movie.
An amazing movie.
One of my, I think, still top 5 MCU movies for me. Shang-Chi.
Maybe. I love this movie. This movie I could watch over and over again.
It's so fun. The characters are so great. Just the entire world looks so cool. And obviously it takes place in the same world as all these movies, but like it looks great, this one.
Even the cars.
Yeah, even
how
like
they put it on
really
the poster.
Cool shots and colors and stuff like that. And I think we know what the main takeaway from this movie is. Like the best part.
The bus scene?
Just the action in general, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, the action.
Yeah.
I think this movie did also like a really good job of making us care about a character and like being like, this character is a badass.
Yeah, 100%.
Because like originally like the 10 Rings, I was like, what? So he has his superpowers that he wears jewelry? I don't understand.
And then it's just, he is such a badass with like a really sick opening with him. I think that's really cool. And just the rings work in such clever ways. And the action is all very clever and well done and looks great. And Simu Liu is very charismatic. And Wenwu was a great villain.
Mm-hmm. I think
Wong,
the karaoke scene at the end. I think the only thing that this film suffers from, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but it just kind of gives off a sense of feeling like just another Marvel movie. And for me, at least, it doesn't stick out, and it's kind of forgettable in that aspect.
In hindsight, I kind of agree with you. At the time, I definitely would have disagreed. I think my main problem with this movie is how the ending of the movie wasn't cool, low-key. I mean low-key, not low-key as in the character. Kung fu and like not massive like scale battles, but then the movie just ends with a massive scale battle.
Because it does kind of follow the Marvel formula.
Yeah.
And I think like, although I definitely think this movie is better than Eternals, I remember Eternals more, if anything, just because Eternals was so different, and I don't think we've ever seen a movie like Eternals in an MCU.
Yeah.
In the MCU.
I get that. I do think the thing is, like, I understand you say it follows the general formula, but it does that so well.
Right. It does. It like takes a hold of the Marvel formula like better than maybe any Marvel movie has before, or at least one that follows it. Like I don't think Endgame or Infinity War follow that formula.
No, like to an extent with like the humor and that sort of thing. But you're right.
But all superhero movies do. In that case, DC follows the Marvel formula.
On to Don't Let Lex Reviews hear you say that. I think he's still around here somewhere.
In the cupboards.
Next up, speaking of... Oh, wait, no. I've got these in the wrong order. Next up, we have another guest to talk about a non-MCU movie. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I was expecting you to say it, actually.
Oh my god, that was.
Can we talk about Venom? Let There Be Carnage with our friend Sir Superhero?
Okay, so today we have Sir Superhero, and we're going to talk about Venom 2 because that is his movie of choice.
It's quite a choice, but I stand by it.
I assume you chose it because it was your favorite movie of the year, the one that you've rewatched the most, you loved it the most.
That is an assumption you could make. I'm maybe not a right one, but it was a movie that I wanted to talk about. Let's say that. I enjoyed it. Is it a masterpiece of cinema? It's Venom 2, but I enjoyed it. So,
Did you like it better than the first Venom?
okay, no. I did not like it better than the first Venom because there's one aspect of it that really bugs me, which we can go into it now or we can go into it a bit. Carnage himself bothered the heck out of me because I'm a comic book nerd, and Carnage in Venom 2 was not it. But the rest of the movie was very good. It had it's very weird to say the sentence Venom 2 was a rom-com, but it's not a wrong sentence. It's an objectively correct sentence, which was not something I was expecting, but something I very much enjoyed. So that part of it was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the first Venom movie massively, and I do think this is an improvement, but something I have said about this movie in the past is that if this movie was half an hour longer, I think I would hate it.
Yes, I can see that being very true because it kind of, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Past you, and you're like, oh, this is fun. You don't get time to think about anything,
which is exactly what these movies need to be.
Exactly, and then
because speaking as someone who has thought about it, it breaks down.
If you spent exactly. If they spent a bit longer on each individual scene, it would just fall apart.
Yeah,
like 30 seconds more in each scene, it would not work.
Yeah, but what they did worked. They had the relationship pretty good, except for Carnage. I liked Cletus. I didn't like Carnage. I guess I can go ahead. Do you want me to go ahead and just get into why I don't like? Okay.
Extremely curious.
Yeah. So as I said before we started recording, this is getting into pedantic comic nerd crap. But why else would you have me of all people on the show? So, Carnage's thing in the comics, like the thing that sets Carnage and Cletus Cassidy apart from other symbiotes, is their bond. You know, Venom and Eddie are like very, very good for each other. They are good host symbiote pairing. Cletus and Carnage are perfect. Like they are a literally perfect symbiote bond to the extent where Cletus Cassidy in the comics right now is dead. His body is very much not intact, but he is still alive within Carnage because he and Carnage, their minds have bonded into one being. And that's the reason they're unique. And that is the reason that they are scary, is because they are one perfect being. And the movie decided not only to not do that, but to go hard opposite and make that their weakness was the fact that their bond is not perfect. So they took the most interesting thing about the character and said, what if we just completely left that out and removed the interesting parts of it? Carnage in this movie is just another scary symbiote. He doesn't have like the unhinged personality that Cletus does. Cletus was great. Woody Harrelson did a great job as Cletus. But with Carnage just being like another big, buff, deep voice symbiote who's scary and edgy, it lost all the charm for me. He's supposed to be like the weird, scary serial killer, not just another symbiote. And I don't know why they went in such a weirdly opposite direction. Otherwise, I love the movie. Carnage was a huge miss, in my opinion.
That's so interesting.
I didn't know that, and now you make me think that this movie could have had an even better rom-com.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
If it's like, like the rom-com element would work better if the entire point of the movie is, these guys are so much better at being a couple than we are.
Exactly. That's something I said when I walked out of the movie. Also, fun fact about Venom 2. I didn't just watch this movie on my birthday. I entered the theater 20 years old and left the theater 21 years old. Like I watched this overlapping the day on my birthday.
What a way.
But I walked out of the theater and that was like one of the first things I said to my friend who I was watching it with. I was like, wouldn't it have been better if they were perfectly bonded? Because like the whole idea that like Venom and Eddie would be like, they're not a good couple, we're a good couple, and have like the argumentative but also like collaboration element, it would have been so much better. And I don't know why they didn't do it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah. Another thing that I thought was really funny about Carnage. I have a lot of things to say about Carnage specifically. Number one, the line from the trailer that they say, or he says that is a red one, never explained. It never means anything. They just say it and then he leaves. If you're wondering if there's a comics explanation for that, no. In the comics, Carnage was originally red because he was bonded with Cletus's blood, but that didn't necessarily make him stronger. That's just what he was, and that was later retconned to just be, he's just red. Symbiote colors have no correlation to anything or no causation. They're just colors. So that is a red one line makes no sense. The last thing I want to complain about with Carnage, and then we can talk about positives because I don't want to complain all the time. The scene in the prison where he's like killing everybody and it's really cool and edgy, but it's also PG-13, and so they can't actually have him doing any Carnage things, and he just turns into a literal full-on tornado out of nowhere.
That's right. He does do that, doesn't he?
He can't do that in the comics. That is not a thing that he can do. He just turns into a tornado.
And he doesn't do it again, does he? Or does he?
No, it's just in that one scene, because I guarantee you they wanted to have something bloody and the studio said no, PG-13, and they were like, tornado. And that's what he did.
They should have,
Anyway, that's all my complaints about Carnage.
How did I forget that Carnage made a tornado?
That's because you breeze past the entire movie. That's the point. It's 90 minutes.
Yeah. Like I said, this is I'm raising all these things that you guys saying you didn't know, which I expected because you can see all my symbiote stuff in the background of my shot here. I don't remember if this podcast has video components, but if you're listening on audio only, imagine a bunch of symbiote collectibles behind me. I have thought a lot about this movie, more than the average person by a long shot. And it really does break down when you think about it too hard.
Okay. Question, what do people want from a Venom 3, or what do people want from this character?
Okay. I do actually have a good answer to that. So Venom 3, we're hoping that the villain for Venom 3 is a guy named Null, and I will give a very, very quick overview of Null.
I've seen you talk about Null.
I have talked about him. So Null is the god of the symbiotes, basically. He is like the ancient cosmic sort of like weird gothic Lovecraftian deity that made them. Because he wanted them to like take over the entire universe and destroy all life and light and happiness and very stereotypical cosmic supervillain things. And he's kind of like the natural step up. And he's a very recent character, but he's very popular. And then at the end of Venom 2, there's the little thing where Venom is talking to Eddie. And he's referencing like the hive mind and things out in space and all this scary stuff. And people are thinking, oh, if they're going to talk about the more cosmic nature of the symbiotes, that could mean Null, which would be a huge step up, because Null is like an Avengers. Actually, Null beat the Avengers in the comics. He defeats them easily. So I don't know if they'll give Venom like a power boost in 3, or if they'll bring in other characters like Morbius, which is a whole nother can of worms. But to answer your question, the hope for Venom 3 is that we're going to see the god creator of the symbiotes coming to Earth to mess stuff up.
Whatever they do, if it's not a crossover with a Spider-Man, if it's not, because people want him to be in the Amazing Spider-Man 3, people want him to be in Spider-Man 4, whatever.
Yeah,
I think you have to do something cosmic, because you can't do a third movie of, oh no, another symbiote here. The one way that I will accept another symbiote villain movie is if they just go absolutely buck wild with it. There are like 30 symbiotes in the comics that have names, and the only way I will accept a third symbiote villain movie is if it's just all of them. If it is just every symbiote at once, and every scene there's a new symbiote popping up and there's like armies of them, because I think that would fit the sort of insane tone of the films, and it would be an escalation that would work, but it's the only way that they can get away with doing the same villain again, essentially, is if they just bring an obscene, almost funny amount of them. What do you want, Harlan, from Venom 3?
Well, I know they have to do something with the multiverse. Like, it's practically impossible. Like, you can't just have like Eddie teleport through a portal
and then come back and then
come back and just be
Eddie
like
Ubers a symbiote to the main universe, and that's his only purpose in No Way Home.
So I mean, like something has to happen with that,
Yeah.
and I think with Matt said, I'm pretty sure I saw Matt's video too, and that just solidified my hopes for it and to have somebody like Null. But if they did do that, I feel like something these movies struggle with is maintaining a serious tone. And I feel like somebody, like I'm looking at images of Null right now on Google, and if that was to happen, they would need to change tones very quickly.
Yeah, Null is terrifying. I mean, here's a little fun fact for you, and this doesn't really mean a lot. But while we're talking about live action interpretation of Null, the creator of Null, Donny Cates, one of my favorite writers of all time, one of the best Venom writers of all time, he said that if he got to pick who would play Null in live action,
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with his pick because it's a good one. Peter Capaldi.
Oh yes.
I know Harlan is looking at pictures of him right now. Peter Capaldi would be a good Null,
Peter
right?
Capaldi.
He would be great as Null. So that's fingers crossed for Peter Capaldi as Null. I support that.
Oh yeah,
Casting
totally.
entirely.
The
Yeah.
Thinker. I don't watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, I watched some of it, but yeah, it would be a good pick.
Okay. Last question we've been asking all our guests is what TV / movie thing are you most looking forward to in 2022?
Oh, Moon Knight. I could say it
answer.
another 20 times and it still would not express my full excitement. Moon Knight is my favorite superhero of all time. I love him with all of my heart and soul. And the fact that he's getting a live action interpretation, I will not make this a long thing since you said this was the last question, but Moon Knight is supposed to be a really trippy character, right? And I was worried that Marvel Studios was not going to go as trippy as he needs to be because he's supposed to be like a very psychologically weird character. And then the first shot in the little first look trailer that we got is him walking away from his own reflection. And when I saw that, I think I actually screamed because I was like, yes, they're doing it right. They're going to make him weird. And I'm so excited. And I hope the rumors that it starts next month are true.
Yeah, me too. Moon Knight, I'm very much looking forward to. I just love Oscar Isaac as well. Everything.
Oh, we know you love Oscar Isaac. Don't you worry.
Oh yes.
Is this a recurring thing that we've stumbled upon?
I think we have already talked about how much I loved his beard in Dune and his hair in Dune. That was just my favorite part of Dune.
Not Oscar Isaac's performance, just
the hair. Which is fair. It was a good look. It was a good look.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, Matt.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Matt.
Soon.
No problem. I hope the rest of your 2021 recap goes well.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, should we talk about Eternals now?
Let's stop. Thank you, Matt, for stopping by. He's already gone. Oh no. Bye, Matt.
How is he that quick? That's crazy.
That was very insightful. His thoughts on Venom Let There Be Carnage. He had some interesting things to tell us about the comic backgrounders of those characters.
Look at him. What a smart cookie.
The joke here is we haven't recorded that one either. Okay, on to Eternals. This feels like it's going on for eternal.
Eternally? For an eternity? Eternality? All right, why don't we just take this away?
I am genuinely sorry to Harlan and everyone listening to this. People were like, oh, these guys make interesting TikToks and I want to see their thoughts on the movies that came out in 2021, not listen to them. Okay. Eternals, pretty good.
Yeah, kind of, though, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean. Like, I think it really falls apart in the third act.
I think it was just trying to do too much. Classic superhero movie mistake.
Yeah, that's rule number one in the superhero movie rule book.
Is too much is too much. That's what I like to say.
You do it well.
Unless you are like the next movie we're talking about.
Or like I can think of maybe like 3 examples where too much went well.
Okay, well, look at you trying to be extra.
Okay, let's talk specifically about Eternals.
Eternals. I like some of the characters.
I think the characters as a whole, like the family dynamic, works pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Richard Madden. I liked Kumail Nanjiani. I don't think anybody was necessarily bad.
Gemma Chan was good.
Like even Sprite, like she was good.
Yeah, I don't get Pete. I'm pro Sprite, to be honest.
I'm not pro Sprite, but I'm not anti Sprite either.
The thing I like to bring up is that
Well,
that
you're
actress
biased.
was like 13 years old.
Yeah, and you're extremely biased when it comes to Sprite.
For people who don't know, I was the third account Sprite ever followed on Instagram.
Oh my god, do you have to bring it up every time?
But they've also
I feel like you say that
on
on
Twitter.
Every podcast.
I don't know if I've ever said that on this platform before. Thank you very much.
God,
Sprite, if you're listening, please sponsor me.
You're just so full of yourself, aren't you, Dean?
Can we just get through one recording where we don't make each other cry? Okay.
You know what we can do?
What?
You know, there was actually a lot of like different ethnicities in Eternals.
Yeah, and that worked very well. And they just
were
never referenced.
They were missing one.
Go on.
In like one like in Europe. They were missing one.
Oh, kind of. Do you mean like the thing we were doing for about 5 minutes when we talked about House of Gucci?
No.
Oh, not that. Are we speaking of a different nationality?
I was just
French?
Yeah.
Bonjour. That was Italian still. Mamma mia. We have to stop the Celestials.
Mamma mia, to me, a baguette.
Hello, I am Michael Morbius, and I have come into the MCU. Imagine if he just does that in all his movies from now on.
Oh well, so we both had our embarrassing moments.
Can we agree that Michael Morbius is one of the dumbest names for a character ever?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Michael Morbius. Shut up, Jared Leto. Okay, we're not getting into this again. Eternals. Yeah, the third act kind of falls apart like Kingo just disappears for no reason and it kind of just is over and you're like, oh, that's it. And I liked the ending where they all get like sucked up by the big celestial and I liked Harry Styles and I liked...
Oh, yeah. Not the CGI monster that was next to him though.
Yeah, not weird. Pip the Troll. I'm not a massive fan of him of just the ending as a whole, but elements of it worked. And
yeah,
if it was like up to you, you had a button in front of you, and if you pressed the button, it would make a fun sound, and also Eternals 2 would be made. Would you press the button?
Yeah. Of course I press the button.
Yeah.
Marvel's excellent at course correcting.
What if it didn't make a fun noise? Would you still press the button?
Probably not.
Yeah, you just want to hear that noise. I know you. I know.
You.
The thing is, okay, I don't think we'll get an Eternals 2.
Probably not. I'd be very surprised.
We'll definitely see some of the characters, if not all of the characters again.
Yeah.
Like Harry Styles, there's no way they just like, yeah, he's 100% going to be in something. Kit Harington, 100% is going to be back in something. The rest of them wouldn't surprise me one way or the other, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. I'd be fine either way, honestly. I'd be like, if they showed up in like a crossover event, I'd be like, oh, cool.
And yeah, I want. Cool. Obviously, Kit Harington is going to be doing more. Like, I think that's a given.
Mm-hmm.
That he's going to be in Blade or he's going to be in Moon Knight or something like that.
Right, but besides that, who knows?
But also, I feel like I'd really want to see Harry Styles again, just because they can't like set that up and then just do nothing.
And you know, who doesn't love Harry Styles?
Exactly. So they're the two characters I want to see return. The rest of them, you know, the two white guys in this movie, they're the two.
Oh yeah.
I want to see return.
Whoop whoop.
Because I don't feel represented. No, I'm not going to go down. That was a joke for the record.
They got the LGBTQ plus community in there. They got all different types of ethnicities in there. But you know, us straight white.
I want the two English people back. Kit Harington and Harry Styles, the two English white men. Richard Madden is Scottish. He doesn't count.
Please, anybody listening, don't take that seriously. I don't think you would, but if you did.
Basically, what we're trying to say here is that I was like completely joking and Harlan was being completely serious. Anyway, let's... let's talk about the next movie, a movie we have already talked about in such depth. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home. How many times have you seen this movie, Dean?
3 times.
I've seen it 4 times. So
Well, go get. No, I said it was PG-13. I won't swear at you.
wow, you would
But
swear.
you did
at me?
just swear at me, and I don't think the audience would have seen that.
The audience probably wouldn't have, but if they did, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to show that was the one movie you hadn't seen. You had seen. We saw this one. We saw this one, and then.
Okay. What a rollicking fun time that movie was, you know? All the characters that returned worked to one extent or another. Some were improved. Many were improved, I would say.
Yes.
Okay, here's something we can talk about. Spoilers for this movie, by the way. Spoilers for every movie we talked about so far, just in case you want to watch them and we haven't already spoiled them. There's some news we haven't talked about this movie on there. About, number one, Andrew Garfield being like, hey, I'd be up to do The Amazing Spider-Man 3. And I'd be up for that too, Andrew. If I had a button in front of me and I pressed it and it made The Amazing Spider-Man 3, I don't care what noise it makes. I'm going to press that button so many times.
What if it made what if the noise it made was like a hate speech?
I would unplug the speaker and then press the button.
Okay. Just making sure.
It was what if the button was a hate speech?
Made the noise.
We're so informed. And then Tobey Maguire, I don't know if you saw this, said something about how he made sure, like he insisted that they didn't give away any details post Spider-Man 3 about what happens in his life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he kind of said, I don't want you to give away any details about what happens post Spider-Man 3. And that's kind of, people have kind of read that as, Tobey Maguire wants to make a Spider-Man 4.
I hope they do.
I honestly, my dream would be them to make one movie for all of these 3.
My dream would be they don't stop. They make them and then they make more.
Yeah.
I don't want Spider-Man movies ever to stop. If I don't
want Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield to live forever. I don't care how many virgins they have to kill. I want it to happen.
Jeez.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought you said virgins.
I did.
Oh, I thought you said versions. Well, wow.
Can we just start this? Hello, everyone.
What do you think about them?
You just deleted the text on this document.
I did not do it.
Seriously, I feel bad for all the guests we've brought back for this, for an absolute train wreck of a time.
What do you think about Toby and Andrew going into the movie theater together?
The cutest bloody thing I've ever heard.
I know, dude.
What a couple of rascals. Can you imagine? The thing I think about that story is not only did they go into cinema and they were glancing at each other at certain parts in the movie where stuff happened, they were smiling. Imagine the smirk Tobey Maguire would have given Andrew Garfield when Andrew Garfield comes through that portal. He would have been like, oh, you bloody rapscallion. The bit I love about this story is just the idea of them messaging each other and be like, hey, I'll meet you on this corner at 9 o'clock. Okay, I've booked us tickets. Can you just PayPal me 10 quid for the ticket, $10 for the ticket, and then we can meet here? And then Toby's like, oh, sorry, I'm not free then. Okay, what about 8? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, let's meet on the corner.
Dude, that's
remember,
so cool.
Just imagine. Do you think one of them 100% didn't let the other one pay for their ticket? That's my fan theory.
It was totally Andrew Garfield has more money than Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, but I think if Tobey Maguire bought the tickets, then I don't think he would have let Andrew pay for it still. Do you know what I mean?
So he was like, don't worry, I got the popcorn. Well, actually, no, because Tobey Maguire's vegan.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have gotten popcorn.
And then, but it's a so cute story that these two are pals. And did you see the quote Andrew Garfield said about how he was he felt like the middle brother, where he's really looking up to my older brother and really protecting my younger brother. I'm like, Andrew Garfield, he's got a way with words, hasn't he?
He's got he's so good with words. He's just a very insightful man.
He's very, what a man.
and I love him.
I think here's something I'm going to be doing on TikTok soon. I think if I can be bothered, is I'm going to do videos where I'm like watching every Andrew Garfield movie because I'm a massive simp, and that's what I'm going to say in all the videos.
Have you ever seen Hacksaw Bridge?
I have. What a great movie!
It's a good movie.
Andrew Garfield. Oh,
Mwah.
what a man!
Mwah, mamma mia.
All three of them, great. You know.
Tobey Maguire's a little bit of a jerk, but I love him. So
I
it
get what you
doesn't
mean.
matter.
Yeah. But I meant like as actors. You know,
Right.
that kind of stuff aside.
People dog on Tobey Maguire for not being a good actor, but he's a really good actor.
Yeah. The thing is, I like obviously Tobey Maguire's done some questionable stuff, but whenever people are like, oh, he was mean to paparazzi, I'm like, I don't care. Because most of the time the paparazzi deserve it.
Yeah, and paparazzi, they're fine. Their job is literally to be the scum of the earth. So
Yeah. How good is the video of Andrew Garfield running over after the paparazzi? And he's like, why are you running? Why are you running? And then they're just, what an absolute legend. Oh.
Andrew Garfield with short hair is way better than long hair, though, in my opinion.
That's interesting. What do you mean, like his Spider-Man floof hair?
Well, like, there was that one time where, like, during Silence, where he had that long hair,
Oh yeah.
and then like shorter hair, as in like Spider-Man length or shorter.
Oh, okay. The thing is, I don't know what it is, but I think he's a more attractive man nowadays than he was back in like the Amazing Spider-Man 1 days. There's only
Me
because
too.
on my Instagram feed, I get pictures of him from back then, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this man isn't as attractive as I. Maybe I really like his hair in Tick Tick Boom because I really do, and all his outfits in that movie. I watched it the other night, and every time he wore a different outfit, I just commented to my family, that's a really good outfit, or I really like that jacket. And most of the time it was responded with just silence. No one commented.
Jesus, Dean.
Oh,
All right.
There's an insight into my sad life. And on that note, I think that brings us to the end of HD Movie Talk Endgame.
Who's still here? It's your movie talk endgame. If you're still here, comment. What should they comment if they're watching?
I think they need to comment a word so we know they're actually here at the end.
Yeah, comment.
Code word.
Comment.
Brussels sprouts.
Yes.
No. Yes.
That's 2 words. No, that's 2 words.
Okay. What are they commenting?
It's mustard.
Mustard. Okay. Comment mustard, and I or Harlan will reply to that comment, being like, "Well done, pal."
Yeah, I'll give you a thumbs up.
Yeah. Well
but
done.
as long as you,
pal.
But I will give you a thumbs up as long as you put a capitalization on the letter I'm thinking of in mustard. So if
I'm
you
not
type
being
out,
picky. Well, they
if
just
you
do
type-
all caps then. Can we just end this? We've been here for too long. Next week we'll be talking about something, won't we?
I hope so.
And I will have some thoughts.
As long as we don't end the podcast after this episode.
Honestly, this episode, I can't decide if like people are going to love this or hate it. And I think I think this is going to be the Zack Snyder's Justice League of podcasts.
Jeez. So Electries is gonna love it.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Adios.
I didn't even think of that.